Some people may consider that the Porsche Panamera is somewhat surplus to requirements these days, what with the all-electric long-range Taycan offering much of the same stuff but with zero tailpipe emissions. But Porsche insists that there is still life left in this luxury limo. So much so that, along with a midlife facelift, it's also added new engines and powertrains to the range for the first time. There's a 4SE hybrid with 552 brake horsepower, but this is the non-SE hybrid, and with 456 horsepower, it's hardly lacking in firepower. The updated Panamera benefits from a few very subtle visual tweaks. All versions now get the pre-facelift car's sport design front end with larger air intakes. As is often the case, there are new lights front and rear, plus extra wheel designs to choose from. The three plug-in hybrid models are called 4E Hybrid, 4SE Hybrid and Turbo SE Hybrid. Prices start from around £84,000, rising to more than £140,000 for the near 700 brake horsepower range topper. As before, the Sport Turismo estate commands a premium of around £2,000. Porsche describes the drive system in all three of the new Panamera hybrids as completely new, with the 4E Hybrid and 4SE Hybrid using a 2.9 litre turbocharged V6 petrol engine and an electric motor. As you would expect, the 4E Hybrid is the most efficient of the new Panamera plug-in models, with official CO2 emissions of just 45 grams per kilometre and fuel economy of up to 141 mpg. That CO2 figure makes this the only one of the latest Panamera hybrid trio to fall into the 10% band for benefit-in-kind company car tax. And that's a big part of the Panamera's appeal. Sure, the all-electric Taycan with its even lower CO2 emissions will offer you with a mind-bogglingly low tax bill for something so fast and so expensive. But for those people who want the best of both worlds, say the ability to run around town on electric power before darting to the other end of the country on the petrol engine, this Panamera is still well worth a look. The dashboard, it's as elegant as ever. It's perhaps not as overwhelmingly digital as a Taycan's, but it's easily a match for a BMW 7 Series or an Audi A8. The touch-sensitive buttons lining the centre console perhaps aren't the easiest to operate on the move, but the infotainment system is as slick as ever and the graphics are pin sharp. You can throw up things like the trip information or the nav screen on these outer pods on the dials, but we love this central rev counter, which actually sticks at 0 when you're running in e-power mode. It's stuff like this that we absolutely love. All three of the plug-in drivetrains are offered across the full range of Panamera, Panamera Sport Turismo and long wheelbase Panamera Executive body styles, although in the UK the Executive is special order only. Every model gets at least 19-inch wheels, partial leather seats and 2-zone climate control, plus air suspension, LED lights and a suite of safety kit. Porsche's full infotainment package is also included, with online navigation and Apple CarPlay. Android Auto is not even available as an option. Aside from some bigger wheels and more leather inside, you're paying, handsomely might we add, for the extra power on those 4S and Turbo models. And sitting here driving this basic 4E hybrid is making me question that extra power. 0-62 miles an hour in this car takes 4.4 seconds, which incidentally is 0.2 of a second faster than before. It makes you think, why would anyone want, no, I'll rephrase that, I can understand why people would want the V8, but why would people need a 700 horsepower hybrid V8? Now, the familiar 4 drive modes transform any Porsche, but the differences are even more pronounced in this Panamera hybrid. You see, in a Boxster or a 911, you've always got the engine ticking away in the background, whereas in this Panamera, where you're driving around on electricity, the difference is when you flick it through to Sport or Sport Plus and the engine comes alive, it's so much more noticeable. Now, the car is perfectly happy running around on electricity, as am I, but there is so much more theatre and so much more performance when you flick it around to Sport Plus and floor the throttle. Just comes alive. Now, all models in the Panamera range have been given updates to their active suspension and roll control systems, as well as steering and tyre tweaks, all of which is designed to make the car both more comfortable and better to drive. And it's a genuinely comfortable and refined car to drive. If you leave the suspension in its standard setting, it will glide over rough surfaces, whereas if you firm things up, it drives like a proper 4-door Porsche. It's absolutely astounding how this thing handles for something so heavy and so big. Pure electric, hybrid, charge hold, engine charge and performance orientated Sport and Sport Plus driving modes are all available, with Porsche claiming a 30% increase in electric range over previous Panamera hybrids. A bigger 17.9 kWh battery compared to the previous car's 14.1 kWh setup sees the quoted electric range rise to between 31 and 35 miles from the old car's 22 to 27 miles. You can charge the battery using Sport Plus mode or prioritise the car's e-power. We reckon 20 odd miles is feasible in mixed urban and motorway driving, or a little more if you spend a lot of time in town. Bizarrely, Porsche doesn't offer official charge times for the new Panamera, but does say its plug-in hybrid models are preferably charged at home, presumably suggesting the batteries will be topped up comfortably overnight. All Panameras get a 7.2 kW onboard AC charger. We reckon a charge time between 2.5 and 3 hours is probably realistic. If you're not quite ready to make the switch to full electric, but you want one of the sharpest, fastest plug-in hybrid models on sale, then little comes close to this new updated Porsche Panamera. And this 4E hybrid model should tick most of the boxes as well, because the S and the turbo, they just feel a little bit frivolous. With the potential for rock bottom running costs, plus quality, pace and a reasonable amount of space, this Panamera takes some beating. Head to DrivingElectric.com for all the latest electric and hybrid car advice, news and reviews, and check us out on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Finally, while you're here, make sure you hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel and turn on notifications to ensure you never miss a video.